I just mess with my hair so much, only to just, like, do this. I really just tussled through it because there's nothing else to do. And yeah, I'm wearing brown lipstick. I don't know. I just love the whole vibe of like no makeup and just wearing lipstick. I don't know. That's just how I am. Honestly, it is hot. I'm gonna have to take this off. I've already been sitting in front of this light for what feels like forever. Sorry if you see my bra straps. I need to get one of those things. But welcome back to my channel. I have been dying to finally make this video. It's been like one of the videos I've wanted to make since I first started this channel. Actually, excuse like the back. This is just like my little makeup setup for right now. But I'm gonna be doing how I told my parents that I was pregnant, 21 and pregnant. A lot of you guys also wanted me to do a video on how I told Josh that I was pregnant. So I'm trying to think, like, honestly, I may just include that in this video. I may just make it one nice video, how I told my fiance that I was pregnant and how I told my parents that I was pregnant. So let's just get into it. So I'm going to be reading from this little notebook because I purchased this right before I got pregnant, or I think it was at the beginning of my pregnancy when I first found out I was pregnant. I was like, I have to write things down so I don't forget anything. Just like some pregnancy memories, you know, like to look back on. So I'm going to read the very first page that's in here. And then I will go back and explain some things and go into it how I wanted to go into it for you guys. So I wrote this on November 20th. And it's cool because like at the top there I can, you know, put the date. So I'll put the date. And I'm one of those people, like, ever since I was in school, there's been little things that I've kept, and I would always like date it, like date and time, because I just love looking back on things and being like, wow, on this exact day at this exact time I wrote this, or I got a note from this somebody, or whatever. So anyway, going into this. Like I said, I'm just gonna read it. It's actually kind of pretty long, but I'm a fast reader. Hopefully I'm not too fast for you guys. I can talk really fast. I mean, that's the Mexican in me. It just jumps out whenever I talk. Hopefully I don't mess up, because ever since being pregnant, I swear, like, I stutter a whole lot now, and I don't know. But anyway, so reading this finally. Thursday the 14th, I found out about you. Unsure, but at the same time, I just knew. That morning, I woke up early and took what would be the first of 4 tests. It was a first response test. Your daddy bought it for me the night prior. I dipped it in a cup of pee and sat it down. I looked at your daddy as I waited those long 3 minutes. And sure enough, when I looked, there was a faint, but visible, faint pink line. I showed your daddy the test, and he was a little in denial. Also, it wasn't very bright in our bedroom. I then walked out into the living room to show my best... Rewind. Things have changed. I then walked out into the living room to show a friend of mine at the time. Right away, she seen the second line. I just knew you were there, in me, growing. The next day, Friday morning, I went to the health department. They gave me a pee test, and it came back negative. But I knew it wasn't true. After that, I came home, and I took a clear blue test. Within 2 minutes, there was a faint blue positive, indicating that it was positive. I don't know why I read that twice. At this point, I was so antsy, but frustrated because I knew I would have to wait all weekend before seeing the doctor. Well, Sunday came around. Sunday, November 17th. For some reason, my body told me to test. I went to Dollar General, bought a test, and within 1 to 2 minutes, that bright blue plus popped up. Immediately, I wanted to tell your grandma. I went to urgent care to be seen for earache, and right after went straight to your GMA's. When I walked in, your pop and Gma were watching a movie. I made small talk as I freaked out on the inside, not knowing what was to come next once I told them. Oh, I'm about to cry. Wow, I didn't think I was going to get emotional reading this. This is weird. But I guess that's pregnancy. Not knowing what was to come next once I told them. I went into the kitchen to stall. Gosh, I have hair in my mouth. My mom walked in to do something, and I started to walk back to her room, pregnancy test in my pocket, and told her, "Come here, I gotta show you something," and she followed. I turned around, handed her the positive test, and didn't say nothing. She gasped and looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "You're having a baby," with so much love in her voice. She continued to walk through the house with the test to show my dad, and she kept looking back at me, like, just smiling like that, just giving me that look before, like, reaching my dad with the test. She handed it to him and said, "That's your dream. You're gonna be Pop again." He looked at me with tears in his eyes and told me to come here. I laid down on him and he rubbed my back. They were so happy and so full of love. Juma was so excited she had to call and tell your twin uncles, and had your big uncle come inside when dropping off your cousin so she could tell all of them. Uncle Alex hugged me tight and said he didn't want to let go. That's my older brother. Your daddy saw your grandma at work and told her the same day. Also your Uncle Caleb. Everyone is so excited. We love you, baby Hardy, so much. I'll check in on you December 5th at our first appointment. So, it probably wasn't what you thought. Like, you probably didn't think it was going to happen that way. Like, me telling them the way I told them, their reaction, I didn't expect that reaction. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, I knew, like, you know, like, I think I mentioned in, like, the very first video, but Josh had asked my dad and my older brother, like, last May of 2019, you know, for their blessing to marry me. And so, I mean, everyone knows, like, how, like, that we love each other and we want to be together, and that we were wanting to get married. I mean, that was actually what we were going to be working on this year, but then I got pregnant, so that, you know, got put on hold until we get through this little situation, this journey. But so I was thinking of that, and I was like, I mean, you know, I am 21, I'm a grown woman, which is weird to say. I remember just being 16 and dumb like it was yesterday. But for my mom to be so full of love and just look at me and that be the words out of her mouth, "You're having a baby," like, she was just so full of love. And when she handed it to my dad, that was the part where I got nervous, like, and I was just walking behind her through the house, through the kitchen, back into the living room, and when she handed it to him and he seen it, like, it was nothing but love. I mean, it was an amazing day looking back on it. That day was nothing but love and positivity and support and excitement and trying to figure out how far along I was, and just so much. But to explain the part where my mom handed my dad the pregnancy test and she said, "That's your dream." Well, a week prior to that day, my dad had a really, 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 really bad dream. He didn't even want to talk about it. It took him up until a couple days before that day of me giving him the pregnancy test and finding out, for him to tell my mom about it, because he had a very terrifying real dream, like real life feeling dream, that one of my twin brothers had, I think, gotten a car wreck and died, and it messed him up so much, like he just didn't want to talk about it. Now, because of my mom, I am a huge believer in like superstitions and stuff, and anyone who knows about this stuff knows, you have a dream about someone dying, someone's gonna be pregnant. Someone is pregnant. You have a dream about death, someone being naked in your dream. I don't know if it's you being naked or someone else being naked in your dream. And then fish, if you dream about fish, someone is pregnant. And then it's like the opposite, if you dream of someone being pregnant, death is around the corner, someone's going to die. Not to sound so like dark and twisted or whatever, but yeah, so that's why she said that's your dream, because they just knew. My mom always knows, I feel like, when someone's gonna be pregnant. I don't know, but yeah. And if you guys really followed along with me in the beginning, I started with the very, very first test that I took and talked about how Josh was sitting there beside me. Literally, I just jumped up out of bed. Like, we were laying there sleeping. It was still early in the morning, like 8 in the morning. I jumped up out of the bed and was like, today's the day that I'm testing. It's like, I really wasn't scared all along. Like, kids was something that me and Josh talked about. Like I said, we were supposed to be working on getting married within like a few months after that October, like in that November and of 2019. And so like we knew like we wanted to have kids soon. Some people might think that's crazy, but I mean, that's us. We knew we wanted to start a life together and all of that. I can make a video for that. But yeah, he was just laying there like asleep, and I went into the bathroom. I did my thing with the test. I came back into the room and I just sat beside him because I was asleep on the edge of the bed. So I sat right there in that spot and just sitting there, just like waiting. And I was asking him, like, what are you gonna do if it's positive? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, how are you gonna react? Like, because I don't know. It was just one of those things, like, it's gonna be a joke if it comes back positive. Like, it wasn't gonna come back positive. Like, I don't know, even though, like, I knew. It was like I was, like, in denial there for a second or something. I don't know, but. And then it came up and I was like, wait a minute. Like, I think there's, like, a line right here. And, like, I was, like, using his phone to put the flashlight on it. And I was like, there's got to be, a faint line. Like, I was like, look, do you see this? Like, I was like, that's positive, Josh. And he was like, no. He's like, that's not positive. He's like, we'll wait until we can see a clear positive. Basically, something along the lines of that. But he wasn't being, like, rude or, like, freaking out or upset. Like, it wasn't nothing like that. I mean, all along, he has been happy. And like I said, we wanted this. We knew that we wanted this. It just to our surprise, came just a little sooner than what we wanted. But I wouldn't change any of it. Obviously, I wouldn't rewind time to change none of this because I am so happy. And like, I'm looking over here saying that because I'm in her room, what's going to be her nursery, and I'm just looking at just the couple things that are in here, and then feeling her move in my stomach all the time, like all the time now, because I am 19 weeks, actually a little over 19 and a half, about to be 20 weeks. And ever since I told you guys in the last video, like me feeling her first movements and her first little faint kick, ever since then, it's been a wrap. I feel her so much, and I feel her like crazy, like as if like I am further along than what I am. But like my doctor said, because I had an appointment with him not too long ago, he said, you're going to feel it way more than what other women do, especially for being a first-time mom, because of you being so tiny. I am a tiny girl. Like, I don't know if you guys really understand, like, when I say that, but I am tiny. Like, I have a tiny frame. So I don't know if that's why my belly looks bigger. I don't know, but I'll actually show you guys my belly now. Let's scoop this thing back. So yeah, that is baby girl front. This is my right side. I don't know why that took me a second. And then left side. This side always looks bigger than the other side. I don't know if that happens to any other women, but yeah, this side always looks bigger. And I think that's because literally since 11 weeks, since I was like 11, 12 weeks along, I knew that she favored this side. Because, I mean, she was super duper small then, but there would just be this little bulge in the mornings, a little hump that would pop out. For me, she started showing really, really early, and I knew where she was at. And like I said, it was at like 14 weeks and like 3 days when I felt her first movements. I know I look weird rubbing my belly so much, but whew, I'm out of breath. That is her. I could stare at my belly all day. Some days I just, oh my gosh, I'm out of breath. It's like everything is a chore. But anyway, what I was saying, it's like some days I just like, I'll be like getting undressed in the bedroom, about to put on like my pajamas, or taking off my clothes to like go bathe or something. And I catch a glimpse of my belly in the mirror, and I'm just like I'm at like a loss for words, sort of. I'm just like, oh wait, that's me. Like, that is what I look like right now. Like, I have belly, and I'm just like, there's a human growing in me, and she's got to come out one way or the other. Like, but that part really doesn't scare me. Like, I'm not gonna front that part. Now, I'm not saying whenever it comes down to, you know, the day of her birth and I'm not laying in the hospital like terrified, I'm not saying that ain't gonna happen, because that could happen. But as of right now, and since the very beginning, that has not been something that I've been worried about. Like, I just don't worry about that, like, at all. I don't even like really like think about it in scary negative terms at all. Like, I'm just so excited to go through the experience. Call me crazy. I know I may have a rude awakening in for me, but whatever. I mean, either way, it's going to be beautiful, so. But yeah, seeing my belly and knowing that she's in there and feeling her movements and knowing that there's someone in there, it is the best feeling in the world. The best feeling. And then the fact that, like, I sit and think back on how I knew that she was a she before they told me she was a she, and it's just like so much of just so many feelings of just meant to be, like just meant to be, just the way everything has worked out with me and this baby and Josh so far, and not forgetting Sage, our little fur princess. And like I told Josh from the very beginning, whenever they first told us that she was a girl, I looked at Josh and I said, you have 3 princesses now, you're gonna have 3, like what are you gonna do? That's when he got worried, because he was like, I'm outnumbered, like I'm completely outnumbered, but he'll love it. He'll love it. And I'm so excited for things, like for things coming, like maternity pictures, hitting the 3rd trimester, the next ultrasound, so I can show you guys some more pictures and see more of her features, and when she gets some fat on her. I do a lot of praying, and I have a lot of people praying for me, and I definitely feel my angels with me every day. But I pray so much. I pray so much for this baby and for the rest of a healthy pregnancy. And since the very beginning, I prayed for a healthy homecoming for her, a healthy journey into this world. Maybe that's why I don't fear it, because there is power in prayer, let me tell you. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that, because I don't want this to be a super duper long video like all my other videos. I know I say that all the time, but like really, I've got to start cutting it short. Like really got to start cutting it, because I feel like I'll be saying too much. I don't know if you guys like that. I don't know, but whatever. So yeah, that was the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope someone got something from it. Maybe I gave you an idea on how to tell your parents that you're pregnant. You can always leave a comment below and tell me how you told your parents that you were pregnant, if you are expecting. And if you are expecting, I pray that you have a healthy rest of your pregnancy and a healthy homecoming for your baby, because what we're doing is amazing. So, yeah. If you want to see more videos, be sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the little bell icon so you can get notified every time I post a new video. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram to keep up with me and baby girl. And yeah, that's it. All right, guys. See you in the next video.